I mean,
Alright.
you can also introduce yourself if you want for the stream's sake.
I mean, I'm Marzo, I'm 17. I've been playing competitively for 2 splits now. And yeah, I'm about to start my 3rd year of high school in a few days.
It's a young baby. Okay, you can screen share.
Yeah, well, I have the notes written on the paper, so I'll just screen
Yeah,
share the
that's fine.
video and talk
That's fine.
about it.
That's fine. And you can also, if you saw a mistake, you know, what you think is maybe a mistake from me, you can also note that down.
Mhm.
Some of the sessions you have gotten are pretty old, and some of the items were also pretty old back then. But yeah, if there's something that you think is a mistake, you also point that out.
I mean, if the video was like old, I have like not really paid much attention to the like
No, you shouldn't.
builds and champions
You
stuff.
shouldn't. You shouldn't. Mainly just the fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
Because it's very important that your laning phase is stellar. So yeah, just screen share and then go over the notes. The notes, obviously, on paper is fine. That's what I want. That's what I told you to do as well. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Can you see it?
Uh, 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 yes, but I need to full screen. There it is. Yeah, go.
This actually wasn't that old, right? Yeah, this is actually pretty new.
Yeah, this one's new.
So from this part, I have just that Ezreal runes that you go first strike when you have a hard lane,
Mhm.
and they are like enemy team is full of squishies. Then you go conquer when there are long fights, and they have a front line that you can reliably hit and stack the conqueror. And PTA that you go most of the times, and when you just wanna like be useful on lane.
Yeah, because Ezreal is quite strong, right? He's quite strong actually early on. So
Yeah.
if you use him correctly, he can easily beat out a lot of ADCs and a lot of lanes early on. So yeah, that is correct, obviously, but I mean it's also me.
Oh yeah.
Go on.
Um, Here I have something on 2920.
If you need me to listen, you just do that, right? You just say I need you to listen to this one. Then you have
Mhm.
to screen share the screen, and that's fine also.
You should hear the sound, right?
No, you need to
No.
change the screen so it's only YouTube.
I mean, I have it like that.
Okay, try again then.
If he can just
Yeah,
remind me
I
when
hear now.
walking up, that is.
Here I have like importance of bush control and in which matchups.
Mhm.
Like that's what I have written. So it's like I understand like it kind of just revolves around the support, right? Like when they have Blitzcrank, you don't want him to have bush control,
Mhm.
but when they have like a Nami, then you don't really care, right?
Yes and no. It's more so like the fundamental way to think, right? Do we need push control and why? Like, I'm gonna give you a support session next time, and then you need to listen to what is being said in that situation because learning both of this like situations is good, so that you get more understanding than just your
It's
own as well.
more than enough for him.
It's like I wasn't entirely sure like in which matchups like do I actually like need it, or
Mm.
like then you said later to like that sometimes you can even place the word in the third bush when you have guaranteed bush control,
Yeah.
which I guess is one like when you have I don't know Jinx Karma lane, then I
Mhm.
guess nobody can match a level one. Then you just place the word in the third bush, so it's like you can like walk up and see them always.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's still the same. That
You
has not
can't really
changed.
gank pre-6, but if you walk up too far, he control. It's
Yeah,
You can put video on 1.25 if you want.
vision on you.
Sometimes I speak slow, you know. It's important when you coach.
I don't know.
And I have to put it a bit
No,
louder.
you already did. I know, it's fine, it's fine. You don't have to put louder. I can put it louder.
I mean, for me, I don't really hear it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. But I mean, in every matchup, it kind of matters, right?
Nope. In some matchups, it doesn't matter because it makes no difference. Like for example, we
Yes,
don't
very
have
go
like
on
a
explaining it.
Nocturne, right? Or not a Nocturne, but a Nautilus.
Yeah.
So he can't, hook out of the bush. It's still fine to get bush control because Senna being able
So
to
like
walk.
the default is that whenever I just want to play the lane, then I just place the ward. Or like, I'm not like entirely sure in like which matchups do I like need it to actually like make a difference, like the ward in the second bush.
Okay.
And like,
Next scrim today, I will talk about it like more for you when we go in game if it's needed, so that you slowly get into the habit of it.
okay. Then I have like pre-120 in game. You ask like 4 questions in this order. It's like, can I get prior? Is bush control important? Jungle pathing, and first 3 waves to create a plan. It's like you talk about it later here, I
Have
think.
spots.
Yeah, obviously the
Then
plan
chooses
is different, right?
Talia
And
is
you
not.
know the plan.
If Talia is bad, yeah, most
Yeah,
likely.
that's pretty obvious.
I mean, you can mute sound if you can put sound when it's needed. I don't know if you have it noted down,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, whenever it's needed, we like for you specifically, we have play patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these play patterns means that the lane should be played somewhat similarly every single time. Only slight differences here and there, but the play patterns are pretty similar, or not? They are similar, so the way you have to play lane is pretty similar. But obviously, in different play patterns, you have to play differently lane. Make sense?
Yeah, I mean for sure in competitive, but like in solo queue it like changes a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit about solo queue, you know. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter in the situation.
Yeah, like the first 3 wave plan is pretty like obvious in competitive. It like all makes sense.
Yeah, in terms of how we play. We have certain play
Yeah,
patterns that require certain things from you and the support, and obviously the entire team, but the way that you need to play, the way that support needs to play, is somewhat similar. And that's the only thing you need to understand. You need to understand the fundamental way and then change it if you play different play patterns. Because if you had me the entire split, for example, we would change it up. Because if you only play one way, it's enough against noob teams and maybe the lowest you must team, maybe even the worst group teams. But if you are too one-dimensional and you play against a good coach that can draft correctly and have practiced play patterns against this, then it can be hard. Still.
yeah, that makes sense.
hmm You can just go on whenever you want.
I mean, then the only thing left I have from this is like if we have guaranteed bush control, then we were the third bush, and if it's even, then we were the second. So that's like still to the bush control.
Depending on if we want to kill them and if we want to play aggressively, right? Because if not, then you might have to ward differently, and not second push. Maybe you have to ward in enemy jungle or the try push. Depends. But the way that we play is the same.
Yep. And like everything else in this video kind of just made sense.
Yeah.
I go on to the next one.
Yeah, sure. You can go. You are the one that is in control right now.
All right.
There's nothing left in the video.
I mean, there is, but the thing is that it was all just clear. Like he's
Okay.
just pointing out the guy's mistakes.
All right,
which,
all
like,
right.
made sense.
Yeah, but you learned from it, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Like
good.
it's basically like I
mean,
losing souls them.
you can. Do you have them pointed out in terms of? Do you have them written down? Like
No,
the mistakes?
this is all I have.
Okay. Next time, obviously this is the first time, write down the mistakes so that you can also remember them.
All right.
If you write down things, it is easier to remember. Because you have basically like done everything you need to remember because you have written it down, your eyes see them, your mind gets to what's it called? Like think about it. There's a word for it, but I don't remember the English word.
It makes sense. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so just write down the mistakes, and we don't have to go over all of them, but the major key mistakes, like the first, or not the first, but the major 3 mistakes they make in lane we can take, but not all of it, because I don't want to watch it all back. You know, I've been there, I've coached it. Don't want to watch it all back, but the 3 biggest ones, and then you write down the smaller ones for yourself as well. Yeah, just go on to the next one. Just for
I
next
mean,
time.
yeah, this one was pretty old, so this part like is pretty useless.
Yeah.
And here I actually noted like down the laning phase, I have a Lucian specific where you talked about mirroring the enemy and like mirroring them when you need to, not like always. So like when you know they'll walk up for a last hit, and you just mirror them, and that's a free Q for Lucian.
Yeah, obviously this is important because you're gonna be playing Lucian Nami as well, so
Yeah.
very important lane. There's a lot of stuff in terms of how they move on the map. I remember the session fully. There's a lot of stuff in terms of how he moves on the map and how he pushes the wave, right? That I hope you noted down.
I mean, here I have that. Like I remember this quite clearly. It's just that they should, like Jin Karma should have level 1 in this lane, but like they don't for some reason.
Yeah, they're
And
playing like Scat, very Scat.
yeah, and like Lucian Nami is giving them a bit too much space.
Yeah, and obviously this is important for you because noticing enemies' mistakes is very important. You know?
Yeah, I do this a lot. Like I play like a pussy.
Yeah.
Even when I have a winning lane.
Yes, you do. And I would rather you grief three scrim games in a row because you tried to play how I want you to play. I would rather you grief the entire scrim. But that's not possible. Because I will fix it after first game.
Alright. Then I have that tempo resets in solo queue are not ideal, and you'd rather just play for your Wincon in lane. Which is like, for example, here if you know Talon is buffing bot, then like I will just shove the second wave, let them bounce, and then they like don't play the game.
Yeah, then we kill them with Talon.
Which is, I believe, like you were talking about this.
Yeah.
Like even here, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, we can listen to comms if you think it's necessary. You know, we have all the time in the world.
And you are doing it here, but I'm sure you're not thinking about it. Single game, but you should make it like muscle memory. Think about this. Yeah. You think
about
shoving
trading.
this wave. Should we do it or should we?
I mean, I just wanted to reset it so I can do something and slow push after, but maybe it's better if I stack 2 and then, but I don't know.
I think you should. Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm asking you because I don't. Why is pushing into you? Let's say with the wave.
Yeah, Fiddle is buffing top.
Levels in the third wave, kill them.
And I think they went to invade the Fiddle or something.
Everything up. Think about that. And if you look at it, what happens?
Yes, yeah, I wanted to kill one Fiddle, but it's so bad.
Yeah. If you look at the wave.
I mean, this is like the main thing that I like took from all these videos where you like repeat it over and over. It's just like to create the first wave plan, and if you play accordingly, and the enemy probably won't know what they're doing, then like they just play right into your hands and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like what I try to do the last days in solo queue. Just like think about it every single game.
Yeah, and this is also team play. I don't know if you noticed it, but this is a scrim game.
Is it? Oh yeah, actually I know. Like I realized like here that it's a scrim.
Oh yeah. So obviously it should be done better, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But this is because they have not practiced play patterns. They have not talked about this before, so you know, it essentially doesn't happen.
Here what was next was yeah, this was like the temp, and that's what I have written like in solo queue, but I guess it's competitive play, so yeah. Well, this is like a tempo reset, which like doesn't really make sense because it's not worth when you compare it to them bouncing and just like not playing the game. And here you just have a reset and they can trade it.
What do you need to do when you play Lucian Nami?
I mean snowball.
You need to snowball, you need to kill them with wave advantage, and if you just go even, then you are losing. Right, so we cannot do that. And nothing was set up, nothing was done. It just looked like, I don't know, diamond wave management. Diamond planning.
And then Talon is bot for some reason.
Yeah, Talon is upside for fun.
Yeah, he was just small mistake. He should E. Like, yeah, this is whatever.
Yeah.
I hear talking about warding. Which
Yeah.
this was thing like what
I
I
talked
did.
about this already in day one with you.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't explain everything. This is mainly for you. Just streaming it so that some people can take something away from it. But it's mainly for you. So we don't talk about everything, guys. That's just how it is. I said already that this is not like a normal session, right? But yeah, game is complete clown fiesta, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm just looking for something that like I can
Because of
think
it.
about.
Because of the early planning. It's complete clown fiesta because of the early planning.
I mean, here you will just always hold. Yeah, and they do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
and
this
this is
this
the
like
first
made sense. Yeah.
this is the first proactive play, but
Yeah.
it's way too late compared to what should have happened.
Like this is what you're doing on cooldown,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yeah. Either you dive them or you set up bounce back into enemy can't play. And I just explained it, yeah.
Yeah. And then the lane is kind of over, so
Yeah.
it's not really important.
Yeah. So even though they got a huge lane advantage and a huge CS advantage, they didn't really set it up how they should, right?
Yeah, for
And they
sure.
got to play the game for way too long, enemy. You need to sub, by the way. What the fuck is going on?
I need to what?
I don't read your language, but I can see a red button, and it's not subbed.
Yeah, because it's my other account. But I'm gonna sub anyways.
No, you have one more, right?
I mean, I have 3 more.
Oh, you did all of them?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take them all. We can also
Yeah,
take this.
these ones were actually like pretty good.
Yeah,
They
these are the lane ones with
Yeah,
drop.
yeah, yeah.
These are the ones that took him to the next level. You already did the
Oh.
two. You already did the two I sent you
No,
yesterday.
no.
Okay,
no.
good. And these all three are lane ones, right?
I think this is the entire game.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have to look
Yeah.
at everything, but
Yeah.
you know, when it comes to playing the actual game,
Here just
we will play differently. So we can look at it. We can, sure, but the laning phase is by far the most important because that is what you have to perfect.
like this is what I don't do like often. When I see enemy leash, like I don't always pull the wave.
Yeah,
It's
we have
like
we have to punish enemy leashing. If
Yeah.
they leash, you can't leash, by the way. You cannot leash unless you want to fall behind on bot lane in some sort of way.
Yeah, I mean I don't think like we're gonna be leashing if
You're
with
never
our
gonna be
play
leashing.
patterns. So
Yeah, you're never gonna be leashing. Because I'm not stupid. Leashing in bot lane
and
is
this is where you
gold.
were talking like
Mm-hmm.
about the trading, where I have like if spells are used, it opens up a trade opportunity, which like I shouldn't use them unnecessarily and punish it when enemy does.
Mm-hmm.
For example, when Lulu uses shield and walks up, then we just trade on her, and this is like what I don't think about in lane really, and I
Mhm.
have to like get into the habit of doing it
Yeah, and
because it's like one misstep from enemy and they're fucking dead.
yeah, and this is really important because the reason why you are not confident when it comes to laning, and the reason you don't play confident champions, I would say, is because you don't do this, right? You don't think about it like this.
Yeah, for sure.
And these small things make the difference between being confident and playing how you should, or playing champions that are good in the like in the right situation, but can also stunt the draft really hard. Because I would rather have a confident player that is able to do what I want him to whenever I want him to, than someone who can only play one style and can't even play it correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's like even when you play against like a good player who knows what he's doing, then you just feel like you can't breathe on the line. And I
Mhm.
feel like this is like why it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's the small things. The small things are so important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here's
and here I
still
just
the
explained it, of
trading.
course. Obviously, these videos are a little bit more grief. I only had 1 month at this time.
Unlucky. I only have one as well.
Yeah,
My
you
old
have
one
to get
broke.
one more.
I mean, I had it, but it broke for some reason.
Just buy like a $10 one. It's just way easier to do things.
I mean, here in this lane,
Yeah, go on.
you can talk.
No, go on.
Okay, so in this lane, like what I will do is just like permanently shove and just like smash them now. Like
Mhm.
there's no way we even kill them if
Yeah.
Kane ganks.
Yeah. Make sure that eventually they're gonna have to take a bad base, or the wave state is gonna be bad. So
I
what
mean,
do you
this
think about
base
this
looks
base?
pretty. This looks pretty griefed.
Yeah, this is really grief base. You just give
Like
them free lane.
I mean, he's gonna even lose the cannon or something. It's traced. Like
Yeah.
he can one-shot the wave.
Yeah, it's very grief.
But like at the same time, he has no mana because like I don't know what was the meta, but like nowadays he would have mana on
Yes,
MF.
but also there's so much mana wasted. You know, just look at lane. There's so much mana wasted. It's just thrown for fun. There has to be reasons behind using it. You know, like an actual attempt. Because they will eventually just fall behind hard. I would also. What about Dark Harvest? What do you think about that?
I mean,
Win
I
trade or
don't
no?
know. Like I don't know when this was, but like
I mean,
nowadays the
whatever,
rune is
it's still the
kinda.
same.
I mean, the
Back then
rune
was
is
the
kinda
same.
useless.
Yeah,
Like
it's dog
it
shit
doesn't
rune.
do shit.
It's dog shit rune. There's only very few champions that use Dark Harvest well, and MF is not one of them. So should go Comet, so enemy cannot breathe, right? Comet
Yeah,
on
for sure.
Karma, Comet on MF, enemy can't play.
Like for one E, one Karma Q, and that.
Yeah, generally Karma wants Airy, but not this lane. Just want to make sure enemy can't play at all. Just bait the shields, and then use Comet on both.
Yeah.
Or on Trist, or whoever does not have the shield.
Well, here Trist is happy.
Give Trist free lane.
And here you have to fight them. And that's it. That's like what you said.
Yeah.
Like they have item advantage and the wave is frozen. Like if they can't crash here, then the lane is over.
And if they're allowed to crash, then your base has been completely neglected.
Yeah.
So if you have to base, you have to do this.
But like he knew what he should do.
But still, it's done bad.
Yeah, it is.
For many reasons.
I mean the wave is like kind of big.
Wave is big. We shouldn't be in this situation in the first place.
Yeah, like you should dictate the lane, not them. Yeah, here I have that when I have vision on enemy and they don't know, then I can act as if I don't have it.
Yeah.
And like they'll waste shit on like a lot of time.
Fake pressure and showing cuts. Did I talk about it here?
Yeah, I think so.
If you play like you don't have vision on them, look like you're staying so far
You don't
behind.
have to do it. It
It's
doesn't
just
matter.
a net.
It's not
Yeah.
important. It's not important what I say here. It's more important what I say now. In this situation. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I talked about it. I would be surprised if not.
Yeah, well, here explaining quite went badly. Was there anything?
Yeah, and then lane is kind of
Yeah.
XD, right? Jungle bails out.
Yeah, but it's like whenever I like play solo queue and try to like like set up a plan, and then like something fucks up in the like second minute, then I like feel like, oh yeah, the rest of the game is like whatever, and I can enjoy myself for 30 minutes, and like it definitely won't be pain.
Yeah, I mean, you can, for the most part, always get something from a bad
I mean, yeah,
play.
for sure.
For solo queue, you have to think differently. But for team play, often I say or ask for remake in situations like that where play patterns are not being like we're not able to
The
practice.
entire game turned into a fiesta.
Because there's no point. It's a waste of time.
Here I have that you should sometimes force a freeze even if you don't want to hold it, because it can force like enemy will have to walk up, and even like if you don't want to kill them, like you can force them in a bad position to like get a good trade off and like to hit your trade patterns.
Yeah.
And just like even if you don't want to hold it.
Yes.
Which like I don't think I've ever done this in my entire life.
Yeah, you force them to think. You force them to maybe potentially not even roam on the map, right? Depending on
and
the
like
situation.
if you have a Nautilus then and he hits his trade pattern, then they're dead. So
yeah. You can just go over it.
And
Yeah, and obviously
Nice.
lane has been really grief. Enemy can play when they shouldn't.
Yeah.
We have counter pick on both champs.
I hear the enemy just has wave control for no reason. Yeah, then we talked about MF ults, but that's like pretty clear.
Yeah.
And and here is like the last thing of laning phase. It's like he made. What was it here? Yeah, when he crushes the wave, he like goes and makes sure that they don't freeze it. Which like if they do and they're stuck on lane, that they can FF if he comes out of base, even if he loses one wave.
Yeah.
So like I should realize if the enemy can actually freeze it, and if they can't, just insta press P and don't waste time.
Yes, that's something that's very important because sometimes freezing can be really bad, right? If they freeze, then you're basically already out of lane, or not out of lane, but out of base, and you just come back and you annihilate them. That freeze can lose them game, and also sometimes they can freeze in a situation where you now build a wave, and you can just dive them on it. So it can be a double-edged sword. And if
And
wave
like
is too big, then they can't freeze in the first place. So why are you walking up, you know?
yeah, for sure. And like in competitors especially, because like you reset for tempo, and if they freeze, then they can't base.
Yeah.
So like the objective is free anyways.
Mhm.
And that's like what you taught me mostly. Is like before
Now
I
that's a
like
good
always
clip on
made sure
Hidon
that they
sub
don't
button.
freeze. Or like if they froze, I was like disappointed. Like I don't know, like I'm gonna lose the shit done.
Yes.
But like now I realize that like it doesn't even matter because like we always get the objective.
you get
Like we don't
something
really care.
in return. There has to be specific reasons for freezing. So very good, very good. Look how young I look. I look like you.
I look like 10. Yeah, here is the wave plan. So what I will do looking back is just, yeah, we always have level 1. Here, like, I will try to place the ward in the third bush, because, like, they can't do anything level 1.
Mhm.
And, yeah, they have Shaco, who's gonna start most likely here and go top. So, yeah, I mean, if he goes bot, I will just, like, tell Karma to go ward somewhere, and if we see him, like, oh, well, wait, that won't help us. Well, we want to poke them at the turret, but we don't want to get ganked by Shaco.
Yeah.
I mean, if he goes bot, then the ideal thing is to cheat, right? But we don't, like, we have to know if he goes bot.
Yes, we do. So we need to get early information,
Yeah.
either from Nocturne or ourselves, and we can get that very easily by warding, right?
And we just ward his blue level 1 instead of the bush then?
No, we can do both even here because we don't care about having our wards. Why do we not care about having wards? Because the wave is gonna bounce when we push it, and in that regard, we couldn't care less if he comes or not, because we're not gonna be in danger.
That's true.
And also, Kame should have Airy, right, in this lane. Comet is bad. You have a Jinx, and you can poke more. Kame, you only go Comet if, let's say you're playing into something like Seraph, for example, and you yourself have Varus. Then he doesn't care about having the shield, and also you need to poke him out. Or kill him through poke. But Comet very bad here. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yes, so we can expend both wards here, or we just go and put a level 1 ward from Nocturne, and then you yourself put ward in tier 3 bush.
Okay.
And yeah, this is also fine, right?
Yeah, they did.
If we don't get the ward on his camp, not on his camp, but yeah, I mean on his red, then we have to do it ourselves. Or you can also look at who's leashing. But yeah, that can also be fake information, you know?
Yeah.
Because we want to be on the wave level 1. Yeah, I'm talking about some stuff here.
I mean, I think that they're hitting the wave a bit too much, no?
No, they're not, because enemy is also hitting. So this is good. This is something that's very important to note as well, right? If enemy is hitting and you do not hit, then you can situationally lose wave control. If he has relic, which I assume he has, and they hit and you don't hit, then you lose wave control.
It's gonna be just hit them instead and make them not hit.
You can, but I mean in this situation you can walk up, but the problem in some matchups is that if you do that, you have to also put yourself in a little bit of a dangerous situation. Let's say they have a North and Samira maybe instead, then he hooks you and they can't fight you, right? But in this situation, yeah, you can just go up and hit them. And that would be also fine, but you have to choose, right? Because both are okay,
Yeah.
just depends. If Nocturne is pathing to top and Jago is pathing to bot, then it can also come back to bite you in the ass, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it just depends on what... Like, it depends on a lot of things.
I mean, then what I have is that like a specific plan with Enchantress, where like what I usually did was just like perma half the waves, and then like like poke them under turret and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were explaining here that that what you should do is like stack the waves, because like they'll lose a few CS in the process. Then you crash like the 3 wave stack, and then you have like a minute to poke them, and if you have vision, and then they can't do anything about it. And like it's more efficient because they'll lose more in the slow pushing process.
Yeah. And it become harder to deal with our, our W, Karma Q, potentially even auto attacks, depending on situation, depending on how we space and stuff.
Then I have like when I have a winning lane, I should play like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like in capital letters,
Of
and
course.
and it's like mostly positioning. And I think it was somewhere here.
Yeah. The way he stands in lane, right? He's
Yeah.
pussy. He's a pussy.
He plays like I do.
Yeah. And as I said, I would rather you test limits a little bit, knowing why you're doing it, than you not doing anything. You had the same issue as he has, and there's a lot of ADCs that have this. Yeah. But you can
And
go
like
on.
this is illegal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. We don't care if Fresh hits level 1 hook on you, because what can they do? There's no follow-up.
Yeah, they never win. And then Shaco gank top, Sawaguchi.
Yeah. Now we can just annihilate them on the tower,
Yeah, they can't breathe.
and this is good.
And this is what like happened like to this guy like 3 games in a row. Like I don't know, like I don't remember myself being in this situation ever. Like I walk and like I can freeze it like perfectly. Like
Yeah,
it's
man.
basically like he just shoves, they bounce, and they don't crash in time. I think like the mistake I always do is like I crash and I base like late or something, and then they always like make the crash,
Mm-hmm.
and then it like sucks.
Yeah. They can't obviously do that if you have a big enough wave and they have no shove.
Yeah,
But Fresh moves here instead of shoving the wave. If he shoved the wave, then they would have shoved the wave. Simple as that, right? And
Yeah,
obviously
it
Jinx
makes
should
sense.
not be moving. Look how she clicks. That could be the difference maker between having the freeze and not.
Yeah,
Look. She clicks
She
towards
wants to
mid
go mid.
when she's never ever fucking gonna make that.
yeah,
Go towards bot, because again, these 2 seconds could make the difference between having the freeze or not. And if you have the freeze, it's huge. Enemy will lose so many waves.
yeah. This is insane.
And good call by as well.
Yeah, I'm a big cool enjoyer as well.
Mm-hmm. But not in, you remember the call game? I told you don't fucking go call.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Give up lane. Guys, I
Yeah.
can't get shove. Well, it's because you have fucking call, you ape.
unlucky.
Especially when the orange blade is pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, this.
After potions.
So here I just slow push as many waves as I can, and then
Mhm.
like make sure Shaco doesn't come.
Yeah.
And
Because you're in a very, very carry position, right? And if they ever step up, this is also something you have to remember. How can we punish
Yeah.
them? Because this is so grief from enemy.
yeah, this is something I feel like I wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm. Just because you're slow pushing, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't punish them. But if they step
Yeah.
up on slow push, we fight. Remember what I taught your top laner?
I mean, then they're getting dove.
I said to him, don't ever fucking fight on slow push, because that's not your job. And it's also for the most part pretty bad. But yeah, go on.
Um, He's freezing again. You talked about putting E before flashing, but like that, it's
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah, but that's just like mechanical things, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that's insanely important, but it's something we just talk about for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds maybe.
And here he pushed without vision, so he gets punished, but like it still works out. So that's like something to be worried about, and especially playing against Shaco.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have something at 30 for 50, but that's pretty light. Yeah, well, this matchup, thinking about it, I mean, I would probably just cheater, to be honest. Like free wave into cheater.
Yeah.
Like we
Enemy
can't
have to
poke.
fight, and if we scale,
Yeah.
we win. Look out, team.
Yeah, we can't really poke them or anything. We can just like get engaged on the tower and it'll end up badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where you talked about like another thing that I have never done in my life and never thought about it. It's
A lot of
like
that. A lot of that.
yeah, it's like I always when I like get a kill here, like I just shove, try to shove as fast as I can. But like you can just slow stack it, and like it doesn't matter if you're like half HP and have no items, and they have items and are full HP, because like you have 4 waves here and they can't do shit.
Yeah.
So you always get a reset off. But like you'll first of all have more gold, you'll deny more, because like if you just shove it, then you deny nothing. Like they just take it all. So this is like a thing that I'm gonna try to look for.
Yeah, and also here, right? I mean, it's very situational. It's mainly for solo queue because this shouldn't
I mean,
happen
yeah,
in team.
it's like when you get a kill online for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. It can happen in team, but not the way that I want you guys to play. Because also
Yeah.
look how far he has to step up in lane now. Instead of if he slow pushed it, he would step back maybe a couple of inches, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Which would be safer and overall just better. Because now he has to stay in lane after killing enemy, which is not good. And now jungle has to bail out, which happened to drop a lot. He got bailed out by jungle a lot, which we don't want.
Yeah. I mean,
And
especially if it's like Nocturne and stuff.
yeah, just in general, we don't want to get bailed out by jungle, because that's why jungle has like such a skewed vision on it, because laners play bad. Simple as that. But yeah, obviously he's very fat now. It's kind of impossible to
And now it's Shen
lose,
ult.
but we still have to play wave because we outscale, so why fight? We only fight if enemy griefs. Yeah, they have Shen ult, and also we're not playing wave anymore. Now we just try to fight them.
Yeah, I mean, in like this situation, like then you like just want to perma shove now, or like you.
No,
It's
you
like
want to
if you
shove
like,
when it makes sense. So go back. Yeah, so here we shove, it's good. And now we go Drake. Not here, not here. The other one, the last wave. This one, huge slow push, right?
yeah,
Now we go Drake. We have perfect Drake. Slow push, go Drake. And then we go back to even wave and we do the same thing. We slow push and then we go swap into Herald. Because why would we fight them when they have Shin first of all, and also when we hardcore outscale them?
yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no reason to do this. And now, I mean,
Yeah,
this is like the most disgusting situation, Everyone
Yeah,
dies,
now
they
you
get Drake, we lose. This is like FF territory,
Yeah, it went to shit. And it's
And
like, oh,
and
just
that's
shoving one bad wave.
and that's yes, that's because two things are happening at once, We're trying to make two plays at once. We're trying to shove and like fight them, and we're trying to get Drake. And this is like the perfect situation of what needs to happen for us not to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is
Here,
also a
just swap.
situation that can happen in team if you guys do not follow the play patterns. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's more that's like really important.
There is. I mean, I don't know
Okay.
if it's really important, but then it's like a team fight.
Mhm.
And at one point, like thing that I haven't really thought about is like when it's an important team fight, and you're out. Then you just realize ASAP that it's won, like here,
Mhm.
and just not go back to kill yourself. Like this is something I
Yeah,
do a lot.
yeah,
I think.
yeah. This is something a lot of players do. I think I've also done it multiple times.
It's just like,
Realizing that the fight is completely over, and why
yeah,
do you have to be greedy for a kill? You know?
yeah.
Because instead you could get a wave, which would be higher value. You know?
Yeah, now the lane is like pretty much over.
Yeah.
And he goes mid.
Mhm.
Well, this lane is free again,
Yeah.
and yeah, well, depends where jungles will path, but this is it. Oh, it's this game. Well, both jungles look like started bots,
Mhm.
so yeah, I think we can punish them 2v2. So we just shove. Oh wait, Nidalee is here. Never mind. Well, I mean, I would just shove to let them bounce, and I think like we can deny them 2v2. To be honest, like, we don't even need jungle.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Oh, this is not the same game. This is not the wait, what? No, it is
then
the
they have.
Pantheon. Yeah, never mind, never mind. I didn't see Yumi. Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, this is pretty unlucky.
Okay, so what should have happened? I wasn't following too much. Is it because of bad wave control?
I
Or
mean, I don't think
how are
like
we losing into Ezreal Yumi? This should never be possible. Bad wave control, not waiting for
yeah,
next wave.
yeah, they should have just slow pushed and cashed this.
Hmm. This is only good if we can dive them on this wave. You know, this is a double-edged sword, as I said, but we can't dive them, so it's just a horrible situation. If we cannot push it in. If we can push it in, it's fine situation. But if enemy jungle is here, then we can lose the game on the situation.
Yeah,
So, knowing the outcomes that can happen. Because this is not good for them if they can't use it. Then it's just like they're giving you a free wave, right? But if they can gank it and you die, then it's potentially game losing.
yeah, here just. Here I just find the wave, freeze on them, wait for set to go in. And here set is griefing a bit.
That's it.
Like this is something like I should get in the habit of. Like I don't, this is like,
Yeah, how can enemy play? You
yeah,
know, it's illegal. Set, what are you
like
doing?
I would play like this set.
Yeah, this is set. Set, like this is set problem. This is good from drop, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he should just spam ping set. And if
But
set
holy
doesn't
shit,
come,
like how much damage did MF do actually?
yeah, I mean, Dark Harvest and everything. It's a lot of damage, but yeah, set has to walk up. It's illegal. You cannot do that. And obviously you should tell your support in this situation. If it doesn't go, then it's not your problem.
And it's like positioning again where set pinged, he wants to go in,
Yeah.
but he's standing so far back.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Ezreal
they
Yumi
can't
can
do
play
shit.
like this.
Yeah.
Just heal early. But yeah, Ezreal Yumi cannot play like this. Like obviously this situation we don't want to happen in the first place, right?
Yeah, for
This
sure.
is a chain reaction of bad laning. You
This is just a
can,
fiesta.
yeah, you can remove Resta, but it's irrelevant.
Wait, here's another.
Yeah.
Well,
How many lanes are here?
I think this is the last one. Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
Is this 4 or 5?
4, I think, 4.
Okay.
Yeah, well, this lane looks like we can't do absolute shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
This is one of the few.
yeah, I mean,
Obviously,
I
you're not gonna
just,
be in this situation. I will make sure of that.
Well, I just try to punish enemy mistakes, I guess.
Yeah.
But like
What
for some
are
reason,
what are like how do we enter lane in this situation? Can we get wave
I mean,
control? If not, how can we? If they
oh,
make mistake, what can we do? Because you haven't said
oh,
anything. Just pause and we talk about it.
hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if like Jinx really ints, then Alistar always has flash Q, I guess.
Mhm.
Like that's and Varus Hail of Blades, so I think that's something we can look for.
Mhm.
But yeah, like if they play like humans, then like they always win.
Yeah.
But like now that we see that they're late in lane, then we can like actually do something.
Yeah. So they leashed,
Yeah,
which is a problem because now they give lane control, and we
yeah.
can have wave control, and then we can potentially like crash free and bounce
And
into Udyr gank.
Udyr is coming bot.
Yeah.
So
Yes. And this is basically how we are gonna be playing, right?
yep.
For the most part. So this is a huge issue.
I mean here I just kill like one minion or like hit, yeah, kill one minion to like make sure.
Mhm.
So teams can like always one shot it. Oh here they get chunked. And we
Yeah.
just wanna keep the wave.
Yeah.
I would instead touch.
Yeah.
Oh, so it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
And here I will do like the slow push thing
Yeah.
and not just insta shove.
Yeah. So they just turned a like unwinnable lane into winning lane
Yeah.
by good trading. So yeah, sucks to be enemy because they're noob. What should enemy have done differently? Let's talk about that perspective from enemy.
Well, first of all, they don't leave.
Yeah, they don't leash because then they lose wave control.
I mean, Braum just stands here
Mhm.
and doesn't let Alistar enter the bush,
Yeah.
and Alistar has to be here, and then like he can like look for Qs with Jinx autos, but
Mhm.
like they don't really even have to hit the wave because
How
Jinx
how do we
outranges
how do
autos.
we lose if we are Braum Jinx level
Um,
1? What are the worst things we can do? There are
I
two
mean,
things.
fighting in the wave, I guess.
Yeah, first one is leash. Second one is if Alistair can get Q on Jinx, we can lose, right?
Yeah,
That's the only two things we have to think about. And then we take wave control. And we are the ones that can put them in a situation where Nocturne can come. But there are many reasons why this is bad from enemy. Obviously Nocturne should know, and bot lane should know. But they don't.
yeah.
And this is this is Grandmaster US. How disgusting is that?
I mean, like I don't know. Like I think like up until I don't know how much LP, it's just like I sort out the games to be human and non-human, and
Mhm.
like I don't know up to which point they're like like at some point the games start like to make sense,
Mhm.
but like I don't know where that point is. I haven't been there,
Yeah.
and
Of
like
course
yeah,
you will. You will eventually.
and it's like I don't know even low GM. It's just the games don't really make any sense.
Yeah. You have to. I mean, when you play against good laners, you will feel it.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened
There are
in
some
like
good laners. What did you say?
I mean that's like what happened to me like in the league. It's
Mhm.
like yeah, in solo queue I play against total apes
I
every
mean, they're
single game.
also bad. They're also bad in the league.
I mean for you, yeah, but like
But yes, you are right.
and
But
then it's like when I play like one game out of 100 versus like a quote unquote good laner, then like then I like haven't practiced against those laners,
mhm.
then it's like really hard to play the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for sure. When you play a good versus like an actual real good laner, you will feel it. You will feel like breathing is impossible,
Yeah.
even in real life. There are some good laners on the West, for sure. And I mean, obviously not in the elo you're in right now, but
Fuck for sure.
eventually.
I mean, this is for example something where they can like lose like fighting with these three casters on their head.
Yeah.
This is like they're overextending a bit.
And minions do a lot of damage early on.
Yeah.
Uh,
It happened something that shouldn't. Here we're talking about the slow push again.
mhm.
And now the line should be pretty much over.
Yeah.
And again, they just freeze. Yeah,
And then
Jinx gets
eventually we
chance.
hit 6. and we just ult first target with Udyr or
Now the only thing I'll worry
Yes.
about is that Nocturne should be bot side for... actually. Like it's around 4:30 that the jungler is on the side where he started, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they can play...
Slow push into Drake
Yeah,
or
slow
into
push.
dive.
Yeah.
So pretty good, pretty good. How it should be.
I mean, it's pretty much that, like, you kind of always want to slow push him bot, like, when you can, no?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what, like, you were talking
For the
about
most
almost, like,
part, yeah.
it doesn't even matter if they have an enchanter or, like, engage support, like, they, like, if they can't dive, then they just, like, do Drake and it's all good.
Mm-hmm. And we
Yeah, and
still
then
we
it's,
still
like,
get the
over.
play pattern. We still can do Herald, you know.
And,
We just perma-dive.
yeah, this is over.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I have the last one, which is this one. And this was a full game.
Let's do that one next time. Let's do that next
Okay.
one.
Alright.
Because I mainly want to do laning first. Yeah, let's do that next time. But Drop is a pretty good example of you, actually.
Yeah, he kinda plays similar to me.
He is very similar to you. And I mean, you can see my stream, right?
I can wait. I can like stop sharing, right?
Yeah, you can, you can. You see my stream?
Uh-huh.
But he's very similar to you, and you are actually on the same trajectory. Like he's always been smart, like a smart individual, but obviously he doesn't know how to improve, and that's the problem. And I coached him here, and obviously he was diamond all the time. Didn't focus too much, obviously keep that in mind. He wasn't like hardcore committed.
Yeah.
And then season 11, I guess it is, he got almost 1 KLP. If not 1 KLP, I'm not sure if he was the one that got 1 KLP. I'm pretty sure he was the one, but I'm not sure. He was like 999 or 1 KLP. And not that LP matters, but his actual improvement skyrocketed really fast because he knew how to improve. And you are on the same trajectory, so you just keep going. That's why I call you my little wonder boy. Alright, you have anything else? I will end the recording.
No, not really, not really.